Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Play Saga Valhalla, where we play Assassins Creed Valhalla and tell Viking stories. We are continuing our journey and helping the last of these three followers, whilst also trying to ferret out the traitor of Grambridge. I'm not sure how I feel about all of them. Both the first two were a little iffy, so I'm trying to figure out which one of them may be the guy. So I don't know. In either case, telling stories today. I like to try to switch it up between telling stories about some of the warriors and the people who existed within the Viking Age, and then also telling stories of the gods, telling small mythologies and things of that nature. So today I'm actually going to tell a continuation of a story, or at least a story that is attached to what I believe is the very first story that I told here, which is why ravens are black. And as a refresher, it was said that ravens used to be white, and Odin, in his thirst for knowledge, would send out Hugin and Munin, thought and memory, to fly amongst the world of men and to delve for secrets. And upon delving for those secrets, the darkness of some of those secrets eventually tainted them and turned them black, and that is why ravens are black. I've always loved that story. It was a very simple story, but it was a very good one. And if you go back to the first episode, you can hear this story in its entirety. However, we're going to be talking about Odin's thirst for knowledge, because it was fierce. Odin wished to know as much as he could possibly know, because he wished to rule as well as he possibly could, which is a very admirable trait in a leader, someone who is willing to do and sacrifice. So there was a lot of running in this episode, a lot of travel, so I did some quick cuts on it to take down some of the travel. As we come up here, we see an interesting sight, so I chose to cut it right after this. But I really enjoyed the scenery here. Bam, there it is. And then we'll be really close to the last camp, so I'm going to wait until after we're past that, so we can at least hear what all is being said. And then we will tell of Odin's thirst for knowledge and how he lost his eye.
This priest blows as much air as a hailstorm. He cannot be allowed to keep spewing.
Did you sail through a storm? You never mentioned.
Eivor! A fine day for being out, no?
Soma said I would find you here, Leaf. What's your plan?
We're ridding the world of a priest who spouts praise for the Elderman and funnels tithes into Wigman's coffers. So the plan is this. We sneak in, gut the priest, and return to Soma. That will get Wigman steaming.
How did you come to join Soma's army?
We came to England together, sailing under Guthrum. The great summer army, the Saxons called us. When Guthrum left for Wessex, Soma stepped forward to lead. Something I would have liked to do myself.
And what would you do if you were the Jarl of Grandbridge?
I would run the city my own way. I would not give Birna and Galen's opinions equal weight.
Do you not trust them?
I wouldn't say that. It's more. Birna's boots are stuck in the mud, and Galen's are in the sky. If death were bearing down upon us, I worry neither would have what it takes to carry us through.
You were there when Guthrum made Soma the steward of Grandbridge. How did that feel?
Good fortune for her. When Soma took hold, the silver started flowing and the people started dancing. She knows trade. I do wish I'd been bold enough to put myself forward. To take on the burden and honor of running a city. But that's beside the point. Soma is my Jarl's corner, and I'm her sworn man. No act of any god will change that.
As a master shipbuilder, what does your work require?
Patience and love. I know each of our vessels as a parent knows their child. But building ships needs silver too. The hard wood, the tough fabrics, the expensive paints. The yellow I use, for instance, that must be imported. A high price for a happy color. I'm certain that's why someone stole my paint some weeks ago. Blasted thief.
Good conversation, Leif. Now let's take down Wickman's man.
Too right, too right. Wickman's whelp awaits his reward. My warriors will distract the Saxon forces at the gate. You and I will find the priest.
Well, once again, a sneak in and
I need your eyes, my friend.
do things quiet type of mission, or at least that's what it says. Now, what I noticed the last time, however, is that although I was sneaking in and I was doing fine, the people with me got me caught. So we're gonna try. But I have a feeling until I can do some of this mess on my own, sneaking in is just a pipe dream, because they don't hide and they don't sneak properly. Or you'll hide and they'll just be on you and they'll be poking out of the weeds while you're fully hidden. It doesn't matter. So I'm gonna try.
You know, I would not prefer a more straightforward approach. But for you, I'll try something new.
See, yeah. At least he says, I'll try something new, which gives me the idea that he's not going to be good at it. Now, Brynja, her entire plan was like, hey, let's sneak up there. It's like, oh, okay. And then she sucked at it, so yeehaw. And then she even gave me crap about being heavy-footed and all this. And then later, she was like, oh, you're light on your feet, and blah, blah, and all this. Like, what the heck, man? I understand the game has to have certain mechanics, but I wish that the game would put itself into a sense of, if I'm hidden, they're hidden. Because it's quite useless to me to do a sneak mission with an NPC behind me that is going to stick their ass out of a bush for all the world to see. In either case, let's get on with our story. This is what we do. We tell the Viking stories. So let's tell the story of Odin's thirst for knowledge and how he lost his eye. So, Odin, he had been sending out his ravens, and they had turned to black. Due to the corruption and darkness of the secrets that they delved out, and not wanting to harm them, he shrouded himself in a cloak and decided to wander the worlds of men and giants and delve secrets of his own. And there are many stories of the wanderer who traveled the world and so much. And if you wish to read more about some of that experience, you can even read the story of how Odin lost his eye in a book called The Havamal. It is credited as being written by Har, which means the High One. And so to this day, it is actually credited to being written by Odin. And that is not the case. It was not actually written by Odin, obviously.
The devices they must have used to lift
But
stone. Solid work.
Are you in the midst of a conversion?
Much like the Bible, it is said to be the word of Odin, as the Bible is said to be the word of God, even though it was written by numerous people. I do believe the Havamal was written by a single person in that regard, but it is credited as being the word of Odin, so that is interesting. So there is a beginning section which talks of his journey, but it is basically verses in the sense of what most people would think of as scripture. And it is advice telling you about things, and these are things that he learned on his journey, that talks about talking about things you don't know, or if you are a fool, how, this is how people will know that you are a fool, and this is how people will know that you are not. So the difference between wisdom and intelligence: if you have no intelligence, as long as you have wisdom, you could still be respected amongst those in the room that are intelligent. Things of that nature. It is a very, very interesting book. And then towards the end, it tells the tale that we are telling today. So, all of these things were things that he learned on his journey as a wanderer, which I've always thought was quite interesting. Now, as you continue forward to the story, his search for knowledge was long and arduous, and it was sometimes very hard to delve out this knowledge and this information. And so Odin remembered of a giant named Mimir, who tended the well of knowledge. Mimir's well. It was his uncle. I mean, this man was his uncle. But Mimir guarded the well fiercely against all, and he drank from it. And so Odin traveled to, I believe it was Jotunheim, traveled to Jotunheim, the world of the giants, to find his uncle and find the well. When he got there, Mimir knew he was coming. He drank from the well often, and he knew what he was there for too. So Odin went to his uncle, and he told him, he's like I need more knowledge. I cannot rule. I cannot rule my people without more knowledge, more wisdom. I need these things to rule. And his uncle told him to go out and to gain that knowledge, to go out and experience that knowledge, which is actually quite wise when you think about it. And Odin told him of his travels. Odin told him of his journeys and things of that nature. And he's like, I have been. He goes, but it is not enough. And he asked him if he could drink from the well. And Mimir told him, said that no one could drink from the well, and that if anyone were to ever drink from the well, that it would be a very high price to pay. And Odin told him that he would pay the price, whatever it was, that no price was too high for the knowledge that would protect his people. Well, Mimir looked at him and told him that he would have to pluck out one of his eyes and throw it into the well, and if he did, then he would be able to drink from the well, that he would fill the Gjallarhorn, which was a drinking horn, and that he would gain the knowledge of the well. Now Odin, not being shy to these types of things, literally gouged out his own eyeball and threw it into the well. It is said that the scream of pain that came from Odin as he plucked out his own eye was heard across the entire universe. Upon doing this, Mimir filled the Gjallarhorn and handed it to Odin, and Odin drank deeply. He told him that he would have to drink the entire horn, and Odin drank the entire horn and was flooded with knowledge. And this is how Odin became the most knowledgeable and the wisest of the gods. It's an interesting story in my approximation, that someone was so willing to protect his people that he would do something as bad as he did. Now that being said, Odin gained a lot of knowledge from this. He gained all the knowledge, and as evidence of his rulership and how good how good of a ruler he was, he shared that knowledge. It is said that after gaining the knowledge of the runes, that Odin shared that with men, so that they would be able to write, and that they would be able to leave behind knowledge for others to come. He shared with them the magic of it, so that they would be able to divine elements of the future, so that they could make decisions.
You made short work of Wickman's man.
Based on that.
We did. You've proven yourself an asset to us. I'll see you back in Grand Bridge.
So, like I said, it's a very interesting story, and it shows evidence of the type of man that Odin was. I figure if he had been any other kind of man, that Mimir would have cut him down before he ever had the chance to get near the well. And that is heartening to me on numerous occasions. A lot of people tend to overlook that. It's like, oh yeah, so anyone could have walked up and plucked an eye and threw it in the well, and I don't believe so. I believe that Odin was able to do this, and the reason why Tyr was not able to do this, or any of the others, because Tyr was no stranger to pain. And we'll tell his story later, but he sacrificed plenty of his own body without a second thought. So I'm not sure Tyr would have been able to walk up to this well and pluck an eye out and just drink from it. I believe Odin was able to, because Mimir saw the measure of the man and saw what he was, and why he wanted the knowledge. So there's a level of interesting, and I don't speak ill of Tyr in that regard when I say that.
Monastery.
I just don't believe Tyr would have wanted the knowledge for the same reason. So, anyway, it's a very good story. I very much enjoy it. I hope you all have been enjoying this series. If you want to hear stories about specific Viking gods, or Jotun, the giants, if you want to hear stories about specific giants, or even specific warriors, or certain stories of warriors or battles, let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you want, what you don't want, and we will continue this series next week. Hopefully you all have very much enjoyed this as much as I have. I'm enjoying the game. The scenery is beautiful. It is obviously not accurate to history, which they actually tell you at the beginning of the game. This is inspired by real people, and everything else is a work of fiction. So that's I'm glad that they did that, but I'm enjoying it very much. They've captured a lot of what I consider to be decently accurate Norse culture and actions and things of that nature. So, like I said, we'll see you next week. I hope you've all enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching.
We must row in these waters.
You'll get nothing out of me.
Eivor, the plan worked. One of Wigman's captains caught him sniffing around Euroli Ponte. Remember, you don't need to kill him. Have fun. I'll be planning our next move in the Longhouse.
Little boy, where is your daddy hiding?
Godless heathens. Grantbridge is a province of Lord Wigman of Walden. The city is rightfully his.
Poor soldier. Doesn't know what heathens do to men of God like him. Hasn't heard the stories, it seems.
We can educate him. Look at those ham hands. Could make a nice pair of gloves.
And his heart. A heart that beats in a lad like this? Feed a family of 6 for a week.
Let's cut his throat now and water the orchards with his blood.
No, sweet lord, no, no, no. He's on the Isle of Ely, Ealdorman Wigmund, in the monastery, I swear.
Thought that would take till the next morn. Let's tie him up and let him rot away.
Oh, fucking Dane halfwits! The Lord will smite you from this land, all of you! May God have mercy on...
That home-thieving snake might have cast a curse on us. I couldn't risk it.
Christians don't curse.
Wigman's on the Isle of Ely. I'll tell Soma what we've learned.
Thor himself could now drink mead.
Eivor, what did Wigman's little man have to tell us?
Wigman is at the monastery on the Isle of Ely.
Hiding among the church mice. I'll need to plan our attack. But I won't face him while the traitor he commands is still under my roof. So what have you learned?
Garland puts his visions above everything, to the point of fanaticism.
Visions are like clouds. Each person sees a different meaning in the shape, and Galen sees an important meaning.
Garland told me he was near death when you found him and saved his life.
Yes, people thought him cursed. He was adrift in deep water. But don't we all deserve a guide back to the shallows?
Leaf told me his yellow paint had been stolen.
Yellow is a troublesome color to make. He was upset when his stores were stolen.
Leaf wishes he had stepped up to lead, and to be where you are now.
Leaf has a celebrated place in my clan. As a shipbuilder, he is without peer, and he knows I know this.
Leaf disagrees with how you run Grantbridge.
This city thrives under me, as a bustling port for his longships, for instance.
Birna is in love with you. Unanswered love is a volcanic emotion.
Birna has always been unpredictable. But she's a warrior grown. She does not let her emotions guide her actions.
Birna used to be a smuggler, hardly an honorable life.
There is honor among even the lowliest of men. Danes know that better than most.
Your secret tunnel had many footprints nearby, and its mouth was painted with a yellow mark. Whoever betrayed you, they did so by marking the tunnel entrance, then opening the way to let the Saxons in. I need more time to think.
Of course. Feel free to search the Shire for clues, and speak to anyone you wish.